What's up, Mark?
Welcome to the
Winsor and Diller Show as we start our little family feud over here. It's a new game show that we're going to do. As Tom invited Don.
Who invited her back here?
Who invited Don back here?
Who invited Don back over here?
I'm sure you started.
We spent 25 minutes on the lights making sure her face was perfect, although it is
Yes,
perfect.
and now the glow's on. You'll notice it just shifted over. We started a minute late.
Getting the lights perfect. But that's okay. You as we all know, is one of our most popular guests. People love hearing you. I don't believe this one's turned on, Scott, so we'll fix that in a minute.
I unplugged that. Is there another
place that can plug? Yes, that could plug in there. In that other slot.
So
Joe's looking at you.
So
you
looks
like he's climbing under the desk.
So we got
we got a wonderful group for you here tonight. Tom and I do.
We've got Don
McCraw with Gold Clean Credit, who's been here a number of times before.
Thank you for having me.
Michelle Belnap,
an
attorney who does a lot of the suing for those.
Is that a legal word, suing? Is there another word? Suing?
Who conducts litigation.
There you go. That's the proper way of saying it.
Thank you.
Those clients who have creditors being unfair on their credit reports.
So we've got a great show.
We encourage you to call in. Last time, of course, that Don was here, we had more calls than we can handle. We kept Joe hopping on the phone, so we encourage you to do that again. 480-745-1033. And we also have Scott Welker, an attorney with my law firm, Winsor Law Group. And we're going to talk again about how to get that credit off your credit report when it's not supposed to be there. Don, how many credit reports? How many people have credit reports have wrong crud, misapplied crud, misstated information or false information. How many percentage-wise? Do you have any idea?
Well, there's the study that was done by quite a long time. It was quite a long time ago. It was in 2004, and it was 79%. Was the number? What we see every day is
really.
79% is a big number, quite frankly. So you think it's even higher than 70%? Of course, maybe just those who are contacting you suspect they have problems, and that's why you're seeing it.
No.
So are you saying somebody with like perfect credit, like an 800 score, could have one or two things potentially wrong to get them? I mean, is there any monetarily gain when it comes to your credit reporting in your FICO if you went from 780 to 805? Is there any need to make that change?
Is there a need to be higher than a 780?
Sure, or 801 to 806. I mean, when you get to that point, potentially there's less increase in savings with your insurance or better interest rates because you've got to a plateau where you're cool, you're golden.
I think when you get to about a 780, you're pretty up there. 780 to 800.
What's the highest you've seen?
What's the highest you've seen?
805.
What's the lowest you've seen?
What's the lowest you've seen?
320.
Why did you have to let that one out? No one knew that was me.
Now they do. Now they know it's Joe.
No, mine was 285. She was covering for me.
Now the level's different. The level's different depending on what you're trying to
Like
accomplish.
620.
Like 620, isn't that
Pretty good. That's a starting point.
That's a starting point of good when you're trying to get a more.
Yeah, so USDA 620 minimum, and FHA 640 minimum. But if you're getting a conventional, then it's like 640 to 700 is another bump in interest rate, and then another bump that's.
And who else relies on this?
So Tom mentioned
Insurance companies, mortgage
They rely
companies.
on this FICO score.
Pretty much anyone who offers you credit or insurance.
Car loans?
Car loans?
Oh, yeah.
What about employers?
What about employers? Would they care about that, or would they care about if you had a bankruptcy or a foreclosure? I understand, but would they hire somebody with a 580 versus a 720? Does that make a difference? I mean, is that something? Is that legal? Legalities? Is that a legal thing?
It depends on the job.
Well, let's go further back.
Let's go further back.
50% of employers do.
But let's look at it. So an employer can discriminate based on credit score, but they cannot discriminate based on bankruptcy.
So to me, there's like, what's the difference?
Federal Section 525. So Section 525 of the Bankruptcy Code says that if you contemplate it, it means it's contemplated. So I recommend if you have bad credit, tell your employer,
I'm contemplating bankruptcy, so don't discriminate
if you
against
filed
me.
bankruptcy,
An employer
cannot discriminate against you in any way they can.
Position, they can't fire you,
they can't refuse to hire you. Licensing, real estate licenses, insurance licenses, none of that stuff.
What about I thought you couldn't be an attorney?
No, that is not true.
No, that is not true. That is a rumor. Bad rumor.
But you know what I did find out today? You can be a criminal and run for a political office in Platte County.
Can you win?
Find out tonight, right?
I was called a criminal.
I was called a criminal.
No, I hope not.
I was called a criminal by some people on Facebook supporting Ron Paul, and I don't feel I'm a criminal. Some of you might disagree.
Shoplifting's not a crime, Mark.
But the one you're talking about, is he actually got a criminal background, or are you just saying that?
No. One of the guys running that I know has a rap sheet. Just an incredible rap sheet.
Is the phone ringing? Is the phone ringing? The little red lights going?
No, I just like that effect. It's kind of Christmas.
It's kind of cool.
480-745-1033.
You know, we're talking to Don, and I think we should just kind of go. We're what kind of attorney are you? Let's talk about you for a couple seconds. With Don's show. What kind of attorney are you?
Every time I'm asked that.
The good kind.
Yes, the good kind.
That's right.
I have my own firm called Belnap and Forbes, and our general practice, but we do a lot of credit reporting rights advocacy, so we do some litigation, we do a lot of settlements. We really do fight a lot of predators and their malicious reporting practices.
Outstanding. So how did you get involved in that type of litigation?
Don.
I was searching for an attorney to work with.
And there's really nobody specializing in that. You really had to invent something.
FCRA, there's not a lot of attorneys at FDC. Fair Practices Act. There are some.
Like as a censorship. CBA,
But Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Credit Reporting Act, those are not as common, I guess.
Very difficult to find.
Very difficult to find, and
Right.
these guys have been awesome.
Unless you're doing
it in bulk, I imagine it's not very profitable for the law firm, right? I mean, I can tell you that if one person walks in our firm, right, and that's their only issue, I don't know if we can help them because they can't afford to pay us what it would take because we don't do it in bulk.
Yeah, it's true. We do a lot of cases though under like flat fee reduced basis, unless you have like a glaring FCRA or Fair Credit Reporting Act or Fair Debt Collection Practices Act claim, and then of course we are entitled to our attorney's fees if we settle.
Who do you sue? Are you suing FICO itself, or are you suing the people that report to FICO, or both? Can FICO be sued?
Well, we sue the
FICO's a company, right?
Objection.
Fair Isaacs.
Objection.
You can't object here. No.
Compound questions.
Yeah.
Question number one:
A.
Can FICO be sued? Part A. Part B: do you go after both? And is it worth going after FICO?
No, it's not worth going after FICO.
That's part C.
Do you mean the bureaus, or the credit bureaus? Because they
Okay.
they
Well,
license
there's
the
Fair Isaacs, which actually
Right.
is a company.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that they're a company that built an
algorithm.
engine, a decision engine or whatever. Then there's TransUnion, there's Equifax, and there's the third one, Experian. So yes,
which are
that's the
also
question.
all private companies.
Okay,
and
so
make lots and lots.
so
of
then
profit.
you've got like 6 people to sue,
Well, there's a lot of people to sue.
and you suck them all in, right? You bring them on.
Always
There's
someone
a
to
lot of
sue.
people to sue. I like it.
Well,
So
yeah.
your face is glowing now. You're shining. You're gleaming right now.
Without the
You have
lights.
to,
That's
you have to
right.
start with the creditors, because somewhere someone is reporting information inaccurately, or they're trying to collect debts that can't be collected because they're
Right.
past the statute, or they're not valid, or they're
Right.
not the clients.
Right.
And once you get to the bottom of that, if it's still inaccurate, if someone's still, maliciously reporting this information, it's not the creditor. At some point, it's the bureaus. And that's where we look next.
Are they easy to sue? Because it seems like a lot of bureaucracy there. I mean, are they easy to sue?
No, it's hard to. It's a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
But usually they're able to clear these things up with a demand letter. What's your name? Really?
Yeah.
What I feel like we're talking around kind of an important issue. What kind of stuff is on there that's going to be on your credit reports? I mean, what are maybe the most common things that shouldn't be on there that are on there?
Starting with
Illegal?
usually the balance due on a debt is wrong. So if a collector has charged it off to profit and loss, they'll still report the entire balance as your monthly payment. And as you know, that counts against your debt to income and will kick you out of a lot of financing options. Another big problem we see is with delinquencies, especially on loan modifications. So if you accepted a loan mod in 2008, you're probably 3 years late on your mortgage.
Even though you've been paying it every single month,
Yep.
because the loan mod never really corrected the issue of being delinquent.
Yeah. The first time you made a payment, you were 30 days late. The second time you made a payment, you were 60 days late, even if you paid on time the specified amount. So eventually, by the time you look at your credit report, you have about 12 months of 150 days or more in delinquency.
When you go into that trial period, they actually don't, the money that you're paying them during the trial, they aren't putting it against your mortgage. They're putting it off in a miscellaneous, this other account, which forces the lates to happen, which drops your score about 100%.
So basically what you just said, anybody out there listening who's done a short sale or a loan mod most likely has something that can be fixed. I can take them up. How many points traditionally or do you see on a loan mod?
100.
And that's the difference between a 7% rate versus a 4.5% rate sometimes maybe, or 3.5% rate, or even getting the loan, or getting the job.
Just right? We had a call come in.
So
we had a caller call in.
We did. We had Teresa from Phoenix says, if a tax lien I cannot get off my credit and a few other things, do I need to sue or what?
We can,
That's a loaded question.
I didn't ask. She was very brief and she just hung up.
Okay, tax lien. So if it's a federal tax lien that's been paid, we can get it off. I mean, basically, you have to submit forms to the IRS, then back to the bureaus and do this little loop-de-loop, but we can get it off. If it's unpaid, but they've settled offer and compromise, we can also get it off through the same process. State tax liens are kind of 50-50 shot.
Depending on the mood that the person's in.
Now, you said offer and compromise. What if it's just a payment arrangement?
That's also that. They will.
Also that what? Also that you can get it off?
We can typically get that off. It's not 100, like a paid released is 100% we can get off. But the other ones, you have to get the IRS to withdraw the lien.
Do they do that?
They do that. They do that every time it's released. They always do it. And if there's a payment arrangement set up, they usually do it. If it's really old, they'll still sometimes do it.
Is that one of those things when you pay a delinquent, like a medical bill, once you get it to the forefront of your credit gets worse? So removing a tax lien that's a couple years old that you paid, and you're in the middle of trying to get a loan and you have it removed, does that screw you up again?
No, removing never screws it up. Removing a derogatory will always help you. Removing it. It's when the derogatory remains. So what you're referring to is like a medical collection. So let's say it's 3 years old.
So you offer them to pay them. It's 3 years old. It's $1,000.
Right.
I'll give you $150 tomorrow. You give them $150. You're worse.
Because what they do is they update
your status.
The reported date. They'll update that, and they'll often update the date of last activity. Which so let's say it was a $5,000 collection that's 3 years old. It will drop. Paying that off will drop your score, almost always if it's an old debt, because FICO doesn't care as much about the balance. It cares about the date. It's how recent it was. So.
Gotcha. And don't do that again.
Sorry.
Ever.
Pissing me off totally right now.
I realize that. Sorry.
So how does this affect waiting periods? I mean, you hear that all the time. People say, well, I've had a short sale, I've had a foreclosure, whatever else. How long is it going to take me to get in a house? And you hear all these different times. I hear it's 5 years. I hear it's going to be 3, 7. How can this affect your waiting time for getting new loans?
So let's say, like, we have this happen a lot. So let's say somebody had a short sale. The 2 years have already come and gone. Okay, they should be able to qualify for a loan. They can't, because either the reported date has been updated for whatever reason, or meaning they made it sort of current, okay, or sometimes when they've added a comment code that's foreclosure proceedings started, the fact that the word foreclosure is in there will desktop underwriting, the automated underwriting software that it's all data and software, okay, if the wrong code is in there, it's denied. So
and that's an important point.
It's a credit reporting issue.
Right, and that's an important point when you say foreclosure proceedings started. I mean, we're not even talking about you've had a foreclosure.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And even
But
if you were late, if
through.
you were more than 90 days late, it'll also count it as a foreclosure.
Right. And that's what the software does. But so what we do is we get those removed, and then there's no waiting period issue.
So many times what we saw was a domino effect. We'd have somebody that's trying to work through a loan mod or a short sale or whatever, and because it's reported that way, it would trigger credit cards who would then increase their interest rates or decrease the amount,
limit.
the limit available credit. Do you still see that? Is that still going on?
Yes. Yes.
So somebody's. At what point should somebody see you?
So really, what we can tell them, so at any point when they're concerned with what the credit impact is going to be, so we can sit down and tell them, okay, if you have a foreclosure, here's what your credit impact, here's the impact that's going to happen to you. If you have a short sale, if you have a bankruptcy, this is what the result is going to be once you've completed that.
Well, I just sent somebody to you, I think last week, who is completely current on everything. They're just trying to make a decision.
Right.
Do I go through a short sale or not on one of my properties? Is that appropriate for them to come see you at that early stage?
Yeah, absolutely.
What can you how can you prepare them? Can you actually look at their portfolio and say, if you start this process, here's what might happen?
Yeah, if we look at their credit report, because sometimes there's a lot of other issues going on, so it really depends on that.
That they may not even know about.
That they may not know about.
So they think they have this pristine credit, and because they've never missed a payment.
Yeah.
And you get to break the news to them.
Yeah. So then, and usually, I would say 90% of the time, I don't know if that's accurate, but a lot, we would probably recommend short sale as the way to go. Unless there's a tremendous amount of debt, then bankruptcy might be the way to go. And all these.
Did you like that to say I have a call?
Oh, nice. Very good.
I think we have another caller.
Class.
Kathy in Mesa says, I had a credit card with a boyfriend in 1992, and I still get mail on it. What's up? Different companies all the time, different letters. From 92.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Because they resell the debt. The debt gets sold to junk debt buyers over and over and over. There's probably 10 that have owned that debt each time.
Well, what about the statute of limitations?
Well, how do you know the statute of limitations?
Well, because I'm an attorney.
So
I'm saying
talking about the consumer.
The consumer, yeah, I'm saying the consumer. So the consumer looks at their credit report, they re-age it. This is one of the big things we see all the time.
Can you get rid of those?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a no-brainer right there.
Yeah.
8128 right there. So you give Dawn a call. Go Clean Credit and get this handled right away so you can pick up that new vehicle you want or whatever.
And if we can't get it off through our process, then Rochelle can through the legal process. So now it comes on attorney letterhead instead of.
But how appalling!
You have to go that far.
92.
How appalling! Even if it's on the 7th year.
She's been divorced 11 times since then, and she's
don't
still.
you,
No, I'm only kidding. There,
Rochelle, don't you think the credit collection companies know?
Yes.
They've got to know that.
I think they don't care. Because no one's really there to enforce it.
And as far as you know, now you may not have researched this, but have there been any class action suits against any of them for those types of practices? Because that seems egregiously unethical for them.
There have been, but not enough. There's not enough because most people don't know they qualify for these sorts of class actions, and the undertaking would be to even get one started would.
So they are smugly.
Just put to put it in perspective, because this always blows me away. There's 210 million credit files in the U.S. So last year, how many lawsuits do you think there were that were brought by consumers against bureaus, creditors, collection agencies altogether?
7. I don't know.
25,000.
25,000 out of
That's really not a lot compared.
210 million.
No.
It's no threat.
That's like 500 per state, right?
That's kind of built into their marketing that they're going to get sued $100,000 every couple of years.
Scott, you remember in law school there was this case of a Pinto that exploded or something. You remember that case?
Yes, I do.
And it was probably your Pinto is why you remember it.
He still has it. It's in the backyard.
But
they
were hammered with punitive damages because they'd calculated those
human
types
life.
of into there. But here it's their life in a way. I mean, it's not their physical life, but it's their financial life. I mean, they're out there destroying somebody's physical, their financial life, and they know they're doing it. That's egregious.
The Fair Credit Reporting Act. The big problem with it is like consumers only have a very limited cause of action against these creditors. Like it's very specific what they can sue for. The rest is up to the state to take
the government,
the attorney general to take a stand and sue them.
And it's the state because the FTC. I mean, there were a couple of cases that were sort of, I guess,
against the credit bureaus.
Yeah, against the credit bureaus that sort of check the box, but they've had no teeth in any of the enforcement.
Now I know a number of states. Did we have a call?
Another call.
Oh, wait, hold on a minute.
Ding, ding,
just
ding.
a minute.
I got to do my bells, so just
Where
keep
did
going.
you find that thing? I think
Hey,
we've got
we
another,
another
caller. 480-745-1033.
And as I was saying to Farah, we've got a perfect attorney on to take care of this problem because I know this can't be legit. And I said, Farah, where are you from? And she says, Legionnaire Airlines. I go, no, what city? Mesa. So shout out to Legionnaire out there. She gets collection calls from 4 a.m. till 9:30 p.m.
Oh,
That
that's
is
not cool.
unacceptable.
3 small children. Can you stop this?
Illegal.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yes. It's a cease and desist letter.
It can be done.
Yes,
Yeah.
it can be done.
Wait, aren't there like $1,500 or $2,500 in damages right there for that one?
I thought it was 1,000.
Is it $1,000? Yeah, I know there's some
Isn't it
money.
1,000?
There's money
It's
involved,
1,000.
so you can get $1,000.
Wait.
You get a box of cash if
No.
that happens.
Now, this
don't
is
you?
interesting.
You have to sue them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it $1,000 per violation, right?
Start
There's a lot
recording
of
them.
debate on the FDCPA or the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Some people, typically debt collectors, believe it's only $1,000. It doesn't matter how many times they violate.
Wasn't there just some case about somebody being faxed and they proved each fax they
Yeah.
received was
Yeah.
$1,000? So
That's
each
how I
call.
understood
it.
So
Yeah,
start
what I
Farah.
argue.
Is it Farah who's
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah. Start logging the calls and
Yes.
taping
Get the
them or whatever
evidence.
because you may be able to sue per instance.
With timestamps and everything.
And in
Yeah.
Arizona, it is legal to tape your calls in
Yes.
Arizona.
Yeah.
One
incoming
part of
calls, right?
You know what?
Incoming calls.
Yep.
uh-huh.
I got to tell you, break in here and say, I called T-Mobile because I had a huge dispute. And I said to the guy, I said, you know why I've taped the last 13 of your operators? And he said, are you taping my call? I go, yes, I am. And
Click.
he hung up on me. I thought I'd tell him and he'd be all, like all cool and stuff. But
No,
that didn't work.
But
Yeah, you don't have to
it's
tell 'em.
powerful. You don't have to tell them,
No.
and
You
you
don't have to
can
tell
use
'em.
it if you save it as a digital recording.
As long as it's you on there, right?
Yeah, as long as it's you, but it's something you can use for leverage. It doesn't have to go to a lawsuit. It's something you can say. Okay,
You just say you
But
have
the,
it.
You've
but
got
the
this
bug I've got
violation.
planted in your car, that's not cool, right?
That is
That's
that.
not
That's
cool.
going a little
Gotcha.
bit
Or
far.
the camera you've got in our car.
Well, that you put that in, so that's not cool on your end.
Rochelle, what's your contact information?
Yeah, will you give that
I-
while I regroup here?
Yeah, my phone number is 480-907-6088.
Website?
www.belnapforbes.com. So
Gotcha.
It's BELNAP. Ring a bell, take a nap. 1-0.
And from what I understand, you're on the cover of Forbes this month.
No.
No.
So, no. And Go Clean Credit, what's your contact information?
It's 480-991-4885, and it's gocleancredit.com.
Did you talk
Awesome.
to a lady named Tara recently that you remember?
I do remember that.
She called me 6 times and she says, I don't know what's going on. I'm so frustrated. I've been trying to get a hold of Go Green Credit for the last. I'm like, stop. Go Green Credit. Like,
Green.
she's like, they don't even exist. I'm like, you're right, probably.
You're right.
Before I forget, we have a huge event coming up on September 20th. It's the open house for Arizona Academy Real Estate. And I bring it up because, Don, you're a sponsor,
Sponsor,
your
yeah.
company. And the reason I bring it up is because it's a cool business and that's growing. So they're opening up a new location in Mesa. They're from Glendale, and that's Deborah Prevost. Guaranteed Title Agency, myself, and our owners are basically putting on the entire event for her. We have Mesa Chamber being there. They're going to do a ribbon cutting, which is kind of cool. So everybody's invited, even if you're not in the real estate world. We've invited all the businesses around that area. In fact, you have one of your firms, one of your offices, right?
Yep, Scott and I will be there.
Scott, cool. Good to see you there. We have live music. Jordy's going to be there. Her mom is Melanie Safka, who sang Brand New Key. She was at Woodstock, and she lives here in Scottsdale. So that's going to be pretty cool. So September 20th, 5 to 8. Lots of food, great music. Just come and network. So a great networking event for the Mesa Chamber. Anybody in real estate, investors, affiliates, that kind of thing. So please join us.
What does it cost?
It costs nothing.
I like
Just
that.
come on by and
I
have
like
Joe
that
and Marie will be
honesty.
there.
Wow, nothing?
Yes,
like
nothing.
that.
No, it's yeah, exactly. It's
that's
going to be a lot
awesome.
of fun. So yeah, we encourage folks to come by and say hi and introduce themselves. And again, it's a locally owned business, just like Guaranteed Title Agency and KQCK, and we're there helping out our community.
We indeed had another caller come in, 480-745-1033.
That was a personal studio call for me. It was a collection agency. I referred him to Dawn at Go Green Credit. Just kidding. Go Clean Credit. We don't want to confuse
We don't
anyone
want
out
to
there.
confuse anyone. Oh, man.
Couldn't you have had them at least ask a
No,
question?
it was my neighbor.
Well, they could have asked a question. You could have said, hey, now, do you have any questions about your credit? And then it said, what credit?
My neighbor says, am I on the air? No. My TV went out. You got an extra one I can borrow?
Great.
A shout out to you over there not watching TV right now.
All right, so what are we going to do about these credit collection companies?
It's a very
an uphill
tough
battle.
It is an uphill battle, and it's stacked against the consumer. Unfortunately, that's it. The dynamics are such that there's just a really big economy around bad credit. There's a lot of money at stake. There's the bureaus. So all these, they pull $3 billion of the what we call the real FICO reports, okay, that are for industry. Then there's the whole consumer reports. I mean, those reports are getting pulled. Rapid rescores getting done.
I have no idea what you're saying.
You have no idea what the FICO. So there's FICO credit reports. So if you go to get a home, so they sell, the bureaus sell 3 billion of those every year.
Yeah, $3 billion a year. That
3
is a
billion.
lot.
It's a lot. Okay, there's a lot fewer pulled if people have really good credit. The interest rates go even lower. So people that have bad credit pay higher interest rate, have fewer choices. They are actually, even the bureaus sell, they make billions off the marketing data that, so all of us, every one of us, they're selling our marketing data, except for me, because I went to optoutprescreen.com.
Me too. Opt out pre-screen. Absolutely.
Good for you. Okay.
Opt out. All my creditors or my bureaus are frozen too.
All right,
That's
so
awesome.
where do you go? Tell people about that.
You go to
So if I don't want somebody selling my
your
information,
information, you go to optoutprescreen.com.
www.optoutprescreen.com.
Opt out.
And it's pretty
They make
pretty
it very,
simple too.
It's
free.
very simple. It's free.
Yeah.
And it applies to
it-
everybody?
It opts
All
you
the
out for
creditors?
5 years.
And it works.
And it works.
Because I did.
Well, how does it work?
I did that list where you can't get telemarketers calling.
That's
because
a
that
do
thing
not call
doesn't
list.
work.
No,
Yeah.
you have
I still get them.
the bureaus. Are the
Charities
biggest
and
seller.
political can call you.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a loophole. Charities and politics.
Besides family members, who else would call?
That's
never
why I'm
mind,
trying to.
Creditors.
I checked the box for family members.
Many times
That's
they're,
right.
they're charities,
Don't
so they
tell
can
them
get
I'm
in.
around.
True. No, it's a good thing to do because it'll opt you out for 5 years.
I'm doing it right
Yeah,
now as we're doing
And
the
it
show.
works.
It works. Yeah, it
Absolutely
stops Your
works.
junk mail.
Because you know what's irritating, and I digress, I get now telemarketing calls on my blasted cell phone.
Yep, me
I know,
too.
I know. I do too.
Isn't that just terrible?
It's awful.
That is
And
terrible.
I'm on the do not call list.
And
mean,
I get this this one on Skype that is a systems.
Does it say
Bambi?
Does it say give me your credit card number $1.99 a minute?
Well, I
Because
don't-
I get that call too.
I don't go that far. It's a systems
But you opted in
alert
for that, and
notice.
that's Bambi.
That was just once.
No, I'm serious. I mean, it's disgusting. It's a systems alert notice, and if you go on the internet and look it up, you find out it's just a marketing ploy. What's the world coming to? You can't
It's
even have your
bad.
Skype be safe.
Oh, this is
That's
this is
right.
complicated.
What?
He's
No,
doing it
you're,
right
you're in
now.
the wrong.
Oh, out,
Yeah.
out. See that? I'm
Yes.
out pre-screen.
OPT.
Gotcha.
OPT, OUT.
All right, well, it is time for a
Pre-screen.
break, Joe. Are you going to be able to put on a couple of our sponsors? We do encourage you to take good care of our sponsors since they take care of us and keep us on the air.
And getting incredible values these days because of all the outstanding things KQCK is doing for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're green and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
So are our guests.
All right, come back right after the after our little break. This is Mark Winsor and Tom Diller on the Winsor and Diller Show with wonderful guests. Join us right after the break.
See you in a minute, guys.
Are you having plumbing or septic problems? No worries. Call Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Been in the Valley since 1996. Family owned and operated. Proudly serving East Valley and surrounding areas. With a full range of services from drain cleaning, septic tank pumping, general maintenance and repairs, inspections for the sale of your home. They provide excellent and courteous service for all your plumbing and septic needs. We're not satisfied till you are satisfied. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call today. Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Contact Denise at 480-987-8051. That's 480-987-8051. Are you ready to start taking control of your future and maximize your earning potential? Central Arizona College has smaller class sizes and personalized attention to help you compete in today's tough job market. CAC now serves Santan Valley and Queen Creek. The CAC Santan Center is located in the shops at Copper Basin on Hunt Highway, behind Barrow's Pizza. Stop in and see how taking classes at CAC costs a fraction of a state university, and your credits can transfer. So, if you want to earn real money, you need to learn real skills at Central Arizona College. Enroll in classes today by calling 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu or call 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu. Central Arizona College, your way. Our family pets are such a big part of our lives. That's why Kelly's Critter Clips of Queen Creek and Sun Lakes has been providing pet grooming services for over 10 years. Your dog's comfort is very important to us, so we take the time to treat your pet with care, love, and professional attention it deserves. We welcome any size and breed and feature shampoo and conditioning, styling, flea and tick dips, ear cleaning, nail trimming, and so many other services that will leave your pet looking good and smelling good and feeling great, all at an affordable price. Located in Queen Creek and Sun Lakes, call now for an appointment, 480-655-5066. Kelly's Critter Clips.
Rodrigo, Francisco.
That was a good intro, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful intro. Welcome back to the Winsor and Diller Show. We've been having a nice little break here, so let's see if we can get back into the swing of things. I'm Mark Winsor with Tom Diller.
How you guys doing?
Hey, we've got
That was sweet.
I know. How you guys doing?
Rochelle Belnap
Hello.
with us from Belnap and
Forbes.
And I should always remember that, actually. And one of our favorite guests, Don McCraw, who's been with us now. This is your third or fourth visit? How?
I think it's third or fourth. It might be fourth.
At least.
This is number 4.
I think it's number 4.
Third visit?
Yeah, thank you.
And then Scott Welker, attorney with Windsor Law Group. Hey, we do encourage you to call in. We've had some good calls so far. 480-745-1033. So let's go back to these credit score, how do we get a loan type thing. What if somebody's not really planning on a loan right now? How long does it take to prepare to get one?
Oh, boy, that's a tough question.
I don't ask
for
easy
some
ones on this show.
people-
If I wanted to throw you softballs, I'd throw you softballs.
I think it depends.
Yeah.
For some people, the process goes pretty fast. So.
Well, let's give some examples.
Well,
So let's do this. Let's give some examples of different time frames. Because you'll have people sitting there listening to us right now who they say, yeah, I might buy a house in a year or two, or I might get a car down the road. I don't know because mine won't last forever. When do they need to start worrying about their credit score and start giving us some examples?
I think a safe bet would be 6 months.
Yeah,
All right.
agree totally.
So if they at least get a 6-month run at it, they can clean up most things.
If
Yeah.
they're motivated, yeah, they have to. I mean, they have to participate in it. It's not easy. It's
you know
not
what?
a total.
That's like my clients.
It's
Well, no, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's
For example, I
true.
do living trusts. And they say, how long does it take? And I ask, how long will it take you to get me information?
right.
My longest? Almost 2 years. I'm not kidding.
I believe it.
That they just.
So let's
wouldn't
talk
get it.
monetary.
true.
So 6 months, what would that cost the average individual? And I'm sure there's
Now, they
different
don't all
things you
take
can
6
remove.
months, right?
Well,
No.
say somebody does take 6 months. So what's that going to cost somebody out of pocket?
Well, I mean, either whether we're doing so we have a standard credit restoration program that covers collections, those types of things, and that's typically 3, and on the outside 6 months. Usually it's 4 months, seems to be the average. And then our mortgage credit correction, which is removing short sales, foreclosures, fixing this loan mod issues, typically 3 to 6 months as well.
So if they just have a loan mod issue, just correcting that one rolling issue could take several months?
Well,
Yeah.
it depends on so the law allows the creditor a certain time to respond. Then you have to go back to them. Then there's another time to respond. If you have to file a complaint, then there's 20 days. I mean, it can add up depending on how much they cooperate.
So everything goes like clockwork. What does it cost somebody to fix their short sale? Just that one item. No other items are messed up. Just a short sale.
If it's just a short sale, that is actually $2,500 to fix, and it's a money back guarantee. So if we don't, the money actually goes into a trust until their program is done. So 3 to 6 months. And if we don't get the judgment or we don't get the deletion letter from the creditor, then you get 100% of your money back.
So does it not? So it shows on the credit that there has never been a short sale?
Correct.
And correct, I don't know if anybody knows this, but on a 1003, a mortgage application, all it asks is if you ever had a foreclosure. Mm-hmm. It doesn't ask if you've had a short sale. So if we remove the short sale, you can.
Yeah.
Not that you lie, but it doesn't ask.
Yeah,
It
don't
doesn't
lie.
ask the question.
Yeah, no, you don't lie. It just doesn't ask.
Right.
If you had a foreclosure, you had a foreclosure.
Right. And there is no public record of a short sale. So.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was an interesting. Well.
Yeah, and we also send it. We don't just get it off of the bureaus. We also send it to all the mortgage databases. So there's Cavers, MERS,
right.
LoanSafe.
Now you say
CoreLogic.
there's no public record of it, but that depends, of course.
No
Well,
credit
right,
record.
There's no credit. Yeah.
Right.
No, there won't be a credit record. What I mean is a foreclosure in terms of the public records exists. There's
Because the short sales has lots of issues that can come up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because sometimes you're dealing just with the first mortgage.
Yes.
Sometimes you're dealing with the first and the second.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the first and the second, and mama's loan is a third, right? I mean, don't you see stuff like that?
Yes.
I mean, I had one with like 6 flipping liens floating around.
Yeah.
Tax
And
lien, mama's lien, everybody's lien was on that thing. It was like a leaning pole.
And that's actually the first thing we do is
Lean on it?
no
Slap on your lien.
No.
figure out what that situation is.
Yeah.
So it's possible that they can have a really messy situation, and you could clean up a lot of that stuff. Is that also in the ballpark of $2,500? Or are we up into like $30,000 or whatever?
No, it would be the same. I guess it
depends on the
depends
trade
on
line.
if there's a deficiency balance that's owed that may have to be settled. One thing they'll know by just signing up and doing our program is what is your true liability.
Now,
what is
does
it?
Belnap and Forbes take
Yeah.
care of any anti-deficiency issues? So if you're looking at their stuff and all of a sudden you're like, "Ooh, you know, they're going to come after you in 2 years," or
Yeah,
anytime
but-
the clock's ticking, do you fix that?
For mortgage related accounts, that's why it's $2,500. Is because we do a lot of the back end work. We make sure that before we put clients through the program and we start disputing these debts with the creditors, then they're not going to be subjected to a lawsuit later down the line for a deficiency balance. So we let them know up front before we go any further whether or not they are liable, and we advise them to settle. And in most
they have-
cases,
There's no
if
way
you-
out of it. If you're liable for it, you're
Right.
liable for
If
it.
you're liable, you're
Oh,
liable.
that's not true either.
Well,
Come
I'm
on
just
now.
throwing that out. I knew you were going
We
to
do
say
that
that.
as
I'm
a
throwing
law
it out
firm.
there. I'm baiting you a little bit. So you
no,
can
There are things you can do.
you can compromise.
You can compromise, but many times, a lot of people don't know that they're protected by the anti-deficiency statutes, and if you're protected, you don't have to compromise squat.
Sure,
Right,
sure. But when it's
right.
not protected, when it's an
Right.
unprotected lien,
We're saying
Then-
not purchase money.
Sure.
HELOC.
Then many times, not many times, sometimes, even though it's a bad word, bankruptcy really is something that ought to be considered. Is that really how you're going to tell us there's a call that came in?
That was an eagle. Today's
that's,
voting day.
that's his burrito he
Come
had for
on.
lunch.
That was an eagle from the
I like
top of
it.
a cliff. A teenager eagle.
Well, that eagle sounded like it just smashed its claw in the door.
All right. We had Ken from Phoenix call with a very complicated problem here.
Oh, I love it.
Can I get my credit fixed while I am going through a messy 2-year already divorce? We have $7.5 million in assets and 4 children. Don't know how much longer it's going to last.
Oh, yikes. I mean,
Yikes is the word.
Yeah.
What's it cost for a new Social Security number?
I would not know.
Costa Rica.
A new identity is.
Yeah.
The biggest problem in his case is he's got a lot of joint liability with his soon-to-be former wife, hopefully. And if she's not willing to cooperate,
Yeah, it's difficult.
Doesn't sound
It
like
makes it
she is, huh?
difficult.
Yeah, it's really difficult. And I mean, our typical advice would be if somebody's coming in and they're in the middle of a debt issues or a divorce, and that basically that stuff has to be sort of settled out, and then we can go back and we can work on the credit issue. You have to get through kind of the debt situation and the major trauma, get through that, and then your credit can be fixed.
And then, maybe, Ken, and this is a serious thing, 2 years going and you don't know when it's going to end.
Yeah, that's...
Maybe you need to get a new attorney, Ken.
We
got a lot of attorneys here.
Walker does that. Do you do that, Walker?
We're all attorneys here.
There you go.
Yeah, I actually do family law. And one thing that I see that it sounds like Ken has figured out, but that a lot of people don't, is that you go through the divorce and everything, and you get the court to say how things are divided up. But that doesn't mean that matters to anybody else.
Exactly.
The bank doesn't care that the judge said that the house is yours, and the creditors don't care. And so you have to make sure that you're talking with attorneys who can figure all that stuff out for you too. Just because it's on the divorce papers, you got to remember during the process there's more work to be done.
And good for you as a family law attorney that's actually even saying that, because we get people every day that have gone through divorce. This is in the divorce decree. They did a quitclaim deed, and it's like, it doesn't matter. There's a deed, and then there's the loan. They're completely separate.
Got to rewrite that loan.
Unfortunately, not to throw anyone under the bus, but I think there's a lot of family law attorneys who don't understand that. Because a lot of family law attorneys only do family law, and so they don't understand the real estate side of it, or the credit side of things.
And it's huge implications. I mean, it's huge. We'll get people walking in that just got a foreclosure on their credit report, and they were divorced 10 years ago. It's bad. It's a bad thing.
And you know what, Ken? Take a look at this handsome guy, Scott Welker, right here.
Well,
look at this. There he is. Why don't you give him your contact info, because this guy knows his stuff.
Very important.
Email at swelker
Got it.
windsorlaw.com. There's no D in Windsor. You should know if you're listening to the show.
So remember that, Tom.
480, what is our number? 480-505-7044.
That's it.
Cool deal.
I also think there's a lot of family law attorneys that don't do that, because that's hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, that is hard work. to really do the financial separation like that. It's not easy.
It is, and I mean, it takes commitment by the client as well, because and understandably, when you're going through divorce, I mean, it's a really tough time. So dealing with people in those situations, I mean, they're going to come in and they're focused on what's going on with their family, and that makes sense.
Right.
But it's a matter of the client getting into the mindset that, okay, I'm going to have to work for a while to really sort all of these issues out. So once the divorce is done, I'm going to have to keep working on this if I really want to get my finances straight.
Right. Yeah, because it'll come to bite you later if you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of
those
people believe
every
too.
day.
They say it like, won't a divorce ruin my credit? And it's for that exact reason.
Right.
It's because they didn't know what the financial implications were.
Yeah, the
Someone
divorce didn't
refuses
the divorce
to
didn't
pay
ruin
that
the
credit card.
Right.
They stopped paying. That ruined it.
It was
The fact that somebody who signed onto the loan stopped paying is what ruined your credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get people that'll come in and say, you know what, this foreclosure is also on my ex-husband's credit report, so can you make sure that you just fix mine? You're not going to do anything with it. So it's bad.
Yeah.
People get very emotional.
And Tina out there, I see somebody's recommending that you watch this show. Great show, great information. Call in with your questions. I didn't jump onto the chat today, so I hope that there's not 3 million today, because normally we get calls, but I'm going to do that to see if anyone's...
Tina did that on Facebook? Is that what you're saying?
No, somebody recommended on Facebook that Tina tune into the show, because obviously she's probably wants to learn a little bit about, some things that you guys are all teaching as professionals.
So going back to what we were saying before, we talked about how long it takes you to get the short sale off of the credit. How long does somebody need to wait after the short sale to start that process?
No time. There's no wait.
So I can finish a short sale today, and tomorrow I'll come to you and talk about getting it off right away.
Right.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Are you sure? Because you just said, yeah.
I mean, there isn't...
We read into that,
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. No. You have to know really what you're doing. And if you're that on top of your game, you've, I'm sure, consulted with someone like yourselves.
Not these two.
You'd be amazed how many people go through these things without consulting with the right professionals.
Yeah.
And it's
terrifying. Roll the dice.
They don't want to pay the $150 to sit down and get the advice, which I think is, it's their biggest.
Our consultation's free.
Well, and that's a good point. Those, but is yours free? Is your consultation free?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want a free consultation,
a double free
then
one.
go to Windsor afterwards.
No. Well, so we have learned
they'll charge you
because of what we handle as a law firm. If we let real estate agents know that we did free consults, holy criminy, that's all I would do all day every day.
That's true.
So I am not interested in that at all. Mm-hmm. But if you're contemplating going through, a short sell, man, if you can get a free consultation, yeah, go get it. Go get it.
And then pretty soon we'll change our policy as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, and I'll have people sometimes call and beg and plead, and you know, and occasionally I'll waive it if it's the right professional's client. Like I've got an attorney meeting with me next week, bringing a client, and I finally gave in and says, all right, I'll give you a freebie on this one. But I just found if you practice good law, you get enough referrals without being free. And man, that just became a nightmare. About 3 or 4 years ago, I tried the free stuff, and oh man, did people take advantage of that or what?
Now, so when you say free, so do you sit down with Don when they're meeting with customers, or is that a separate thing? Do you have to refer? Is there the same kind of marketing rules with attorneys that they can't refer to you? The client has to call you direct, or
the client has options. They don't necessarily have to use our firm as part of the mortgage credit correction program.
Right. So it's not a package deal.
Well, they're actually, when they sign the contract, they're engaging with Go Clean Credit and Belnap and Forbes. They don't have to engage with Belnap and Forbes, then we wouldn't be able to do the program.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, but if you can find
so is that how you get 100% of your customers then, through Go Green Clean Credit?
Go Green.
They're gonna do everything online now. No more paper. Go Green Clean. I'm sorry.
Go Clean Credit.
That's right. Is that how you get all your customers? Is that
no?
a good
We do
relationship
business
there?
law, but we do get a lot of our customers from Go Clean Credit.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing to have a partner like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been really good. We're just seeing the behavior by the banks and bureaus is just it's getting worse.
Changing.
It's getting worse all the time. This is the worst we've ever seen it in 10 years.
So you guys probably never have a slow day then. Every single day you got somebody calling up with some weird example. I mean, there's so many short sales that this could be an everyday, non-stop thing for you guys, just over and over and over again.
So we
right?
had a guy who had 25 foreclosures. Okay, that's a lot, but he
25.
He was
an
only
investor.
He was an investor, only 25 years old. Okay, this happened in 2006. And
Oh man, he was right on the early edge of that.
Yes. Okay, but that was 6 years ago, and he hasn't bought anything since. Now he wants to buy a house. 6 of his accounts of his foreclosures are reporting today as current with anti-deficiency balances, and just some of them are just the dates are updated. But he can't get a loan, even though you can say logically, you can look at it and say, obviously this was 2006. It's all data and software. It doesn't go. He can't get the loan.
Yeah.
It won't go through underwriting.
And he's also suffering through some duplicate and triplicate reporting.
Yeah, it's really...
So he's got 3 and 4 trade lines that are all the same, but different companies have purchased the debt over the years, not realizing that.
It.
So do you guys pick up the phone and call Equifax? Hey, Mr. Equifax, you need, or is it all letters? You just have to cram letters at them?
Equifax, there are no humans.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
convinced.
It's the one...
That's so you can't send them gifts.
It's the one bureau you cannot... Literally, you can't get a person on the phone. You can get a person at the other 2.
Are these multi-million-dollar companies? I mean, how big, so people understand, how big are the 3 bureaus?
They're huge.
They're billions.
Yeah, they're multi-billion-dollar
These
companies.
are where I picture warehouses full of dudes and computers just working. I mean, working the numbers. I mean, it's just all decision sciences, right? That's all they do. It's just computers.
Well, they're data gatherers. The more data they have, the more money they make. The more data they have on you, so every time you fill out a loan application,
a warranty card, you buy a toaster, you fill out the warranty card, and you say that you prefer Tums over blah blah blah, or you this and that, and you speak Spanish or whatever. All that stuff goes to them, right? I always tell people don't fill it out.
All of that goes to them.
I'm a big proponent. Don't fill that stuff out. I don't.
Your job.
They know everything about you.
Your age, your job. I mean, in all these things except age, everything factors into your credit score. If you rent or own, what type of job you have. It's so much goes into your score. It's amazing. And the more data they have, the better. So they don't like not having that data.
Is that better?
Was that one of my fans calling in?
We're going to find a good sound effect for the phone.
That's the Tom's phone call.
There you go.
Which one is it here? Oh, my gosh. Now I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Perry from Avondale, sorry. Has a 570 credit score. Generally, how long does it take to get him up to a 700? He's had no bankruptcies, no foreclosures or repos, mostly old credit card debt.
In that case, okay, well, you can't really advise someone unless you're seeing their exact credit report. But in general, It sounds like the debt is maybe past statute of limitations.
What is statute of limitations on the credit cards?
Oh boy, is that a complicated question? I wish that was
Really?
simple.
It's like
now
6 years, 7 years?
Let's
now
go with
it's
6.
Now it's 6 years.
Yeah.
If the last payment was okay. might as well
6
just
years
say
from the
if
date you took
last
out the credit
payment-
card or from the last payment?
No, from the last
Last
payment.
transaction.
Last transaction. So, but if the last payment was before
Last
July
transaction.
2008, it's 3 years.
Oh, they changed it after a certain
Yeah.
time.
Well, the
Well, that's what we
legislature
argue.
passed it.
We know 92 is too old.
92 is
We
definitely
know
92 's
that's
not
way too
working
low,
there.
But in general, I mean, like we were saying, 3 to 6 months is a good.
But other
you know,
factors too
yeah.
go into like a good credit score, and that's good trade lines. So it's not
Positive
enough to
trade
just
lines.
remove someone's bad trade lines,
So
derogatory.
you would
trade
remove
lines.
some of his and then add a couple, that
Well,
kind
we
of
would
thing?
recommend that he gets a secured credit card.
Right. And and sometimes
Yeah.
authorized user. There's ways we have to look at what his situation is, but when you combine all these things, I mean, on average, we see 100 points increase in 4 or 5 months.
On revolving debt?
No, on a credit score. We see
Oh,
typically
gotcha.
100 points on average in about 4 months ish.
Okay.
Around there. So
And is that something that Go Clean Credit does? I mean, more than besides just cleaning off the credit, actually advising on here's how you build your credit moving forward, good credit practices.
absolutely, yeah. And really, it's people have to be ready for that. I mean, if they're coming in and like, okay, because sometimes it was an event, sometimes it's been a pattern for years, and they have to be ready to move into a different habits, different way of managing, budgeting, all those things.
Interrupt what you're watching right now to bring you this exciting story. Your cell phone is
What
actually
is
ringing.
that? That actually scared me. I'm like, what did I hit on here?
We have a call.
No, we got a call. Ready?
That was not a good one.
Nah.
You like
No.
mine better, right?
All right, fine, Mark.
I was wondering what Mark was working on over here so intently for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
I thought it was sending me a private text.
No, it's finding the proper ringtone for you guys.
The guy would not give me his info where he's from, nothing. He just wanted your contact information.
Oh, okay.
That was
that's,
it.
That's it?
That was it.
That's
I went through and found
that's
this
so easy.
ringtone for that.
I mean, can we
It
say?
is 480-991-4885, and it's Go Clean Credit, and we're actually in Tempe at Rural and Baseline, around there.
Okay, I'm ready
Awesome.
for the next one.
We're gonna find a good.
Is
Just
that 2 calls?
continue.
Oh, I thought there was another call. There's another
Oh,
call?
but I've got another ringtone ready.
It's been like 56 minutes. We've been on air that long already. It's,
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
gone that fast.
Yeah.
54
Time
minutes. We have
flies.
6 minutes left. So
All right, hurry and call somebody so I can use my ringtone. Quick.
Another big problem that we see on credit reports are derogatory trade lines that after they've already gone through the program that they have something else that appears. So let's say you have a new medical debt that shows up after you've gone through the program for 4 or 5 months. That kind of thing makes it impossible to predict what kind of credit score you're going to have.
It's 10 steps forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah.
We just had a guy. We just got him ready. He was qualified for his house, just ready to run the loan. A collection showed up and wiped out all like the 120.
does he get mad at you
points.
guys? I mean, it seems like some people are just so bad at managing their. I'm serious. I mean, right?
Well,
They're
then
so
we-
bad at managing their financing or financials. That happens. So I mean, who do they blame you? They get mad.
Well, then we go after that one. We just kind of keep going. And so he'll get in the house. I know he will.
But if I
right.
understand you right, you're saying, I mean, this could be something from like something that happened a long time ago, but they're just showing up with collections or in
Some could be.
collections.
Sometimes it could be recent. But
Right.
but usually when it shows up, they report it as recent,
Right.
regardless of when it really happened. So that's what.
What does it take
We're seeing a
for
lot.
for somebody to add that on there? I mean, can you have somebody spend a couple $1,000s and then you send in a letter in and add something back so you make more money and keep doing it?
Are you saying how
I'm-
easy? Yeah, we don't
I'm
make
just-
any more money. It just costs us more money. We don't make any more.
I'm kidding, of course. But what I'm asking is that you hear, all the fictitious stuff or the stuff that's not real. How easy is it for a business to get mad at somebody and add it on there? Like, oh, they didn't pay me for the dry cleaning, and boom.
It's easier. It's scary easy.
But it costs a lot to get it off, right?
Well, what does it take to be a
Wow.
merchant to do that?
I think you have to match. I'm trying to remember if it's 6 out of 9 Social Security digits on the social, And I don't even think in some cases you don't even have to
first of all,
match
to
social.
even be able to, like, I can't report somebody.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I can't just call it, hi,
No,
this
you
is
have
Mark. Tom Diller owes me money.
Don't you have to have a don't you have a contractor's thing that they have to sign first?
I mean, you don't, but
you have to apply. You have to send an application into the bureaus, and each of them are charging you. Like if you want to report to TransUnion, you have to set up separate contracts and separate subscriptions with each one to be your data furnisher.
And do you have any idea what that costs?
No, I'm not.
Because we both want to do that. We have a lot of people we don't like.
But
No, I'm not sure. I know it's expensive to do because you also have to have audits, and I mean it's an expensive process. But if you're a bank or a collection agency, I mean they get those pretty easily. They get those approved. Yeah. And really, that's their number one weapon. If it's a collection agency, is to report. That's how they collect. It used to be
people
phone
must
calls.
pay them because they're still in business, but
right.
Yeah, but they don't care. They really don't care if it's your debt.
What happens when you set up an account with them and you don't pay them? Do they put you on their credit? I mean, how does that work?
They call Rochelle up and get you. They sue you.
All right, it's amazing that we're out of time. The time flies so fast. Don, Rochelle, you guys have been wonderful guests. One more time, in case somebody wants to get a hold of you, give your contact information again.
Rochelle Belnap at 480-907-6088. Belnap and Forbes.
And Go Clean Credit at 480-991-4885.
And Tom, let's give a plug for your title company since they
Sure.
allow you to come join us.
Guarantee Title Agency. We're a 33-year-old Arizona company, and we just love what we're doing.
Hey, give another plug for our little event as well.
And Tom's a great-looking guy, just so you guys know that.
I am. Thank you. Just totally kidding.
He pays me to do that each show
I
now.
do.
This is a new thing.
I do. September 20th, Arizona Academy of Real Estate, Mesa, brand new location. We're having a huge open house. We're having Jordy play for us. We have a ton of food. Anybody in the real estate world or business owners in the area, please stop by. We do have the Mesa Chamber there doing a ribbon cutting. It's from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and that's September 20th. Don is a sponsor. Mark's going to be there. Welker's going to be there. Joe and Marie's going to be there. We love you guys.
We're going to be hanging out for sure.
And Rochelle will be there. We have a lot of movers and shakers at the event. We invited the Arizona Commissioner of Real Estate. I don't think she's going to make it, but she has folks from her department coming, which is kind of cool. So we're looking forward to that.
Now, Scott,
hopefully we'll see you.
If somebody wants to talk to you about real estate issues or family law, or you're even doing those Obama's let's stay
Dream Act.
Let's stay in the country
Dream
without being
Act.
kicked out stuff.
How do they get a hold of me? Is that what we were asking?
Yes.
Well, 480-505-7044 is the number. You can email me directly at swelker. It's not Walker, it's Welker, WELKER, at windsorlaw.com.
With no D.
So I always
No
have
D.
Yeah, I always have to say no D. He's always got to say it's not Walker. So
And it's not Walker Green.
that works. All right, it's been another great show. Please join us every Tuesday, 5 o'clock. We appreciate you, and we'll always make sure our shows are radio worth watching. It's Mark and Tom.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Just